Hello YouTube. So we've got to the stage now with the FZR build where we've got a good clean fresh chassis and everything's looking really nice, but the problem is we still have the scruffy engine. As it's running really nicely and there is no mechanical issues with the engine at all we're going to do with this is give it a good clean up and a repaint. In this video what we're going to be going through is the correct way to just clean up and prep the engine ready for paint, give it a quick lick of paint and a couple of little bits that are going to tidy it up so it doesn't look out of place when it's in the fresh chassis. Okay, so we've got to stage, the engine is on the stand. First thing we've got to do before we can start preparing it for paint is take off a few of the ancillaries such as the starter motor, this coolant tube, get some of these cables out of the way, ready. Then what we're going to do is clean the whole engine down to make a nice clean surface, key it with an acid etch primer, and just give it a light coat of silver paint over everything. Okay, so we've got the ancillaries out of the way, the starter motor's gone, we've got the wiring taped up that's remaining on the bike because that goes to the crank trigger, and we've got all the ports and various places bunged and completely covered. We're not going to worry about taking these intake rubbers off because they're going to be replaced, and the cam cover bolts and washers are also going to be replaced, so the old ones will effectively act as the masking. Next stage now is just to degrease the engine, which we're going to use with a bit of cellulose thinners and a brush. Next stage after that we'll coat with acid etch primer, then our coat of silver paint. Okay, we reached the stage now where the engine is basically degreased, there's no loose debris on it and no loose soil and dirt. You could spend hours making this a perfect bare metal casting. The problem is this is a bike I want to use. We don't need to go into too much detail, everything's now nice and clean, we've got a good surface that paint's going to adhere to. We're going to be using an acid etch primer that's going to give a good bite into the aluminium and enable us to get a good coat of paint. After that we're going to go over with the silver paint and that'll be it and ready to put that together. There's no advantage to putting too much primer on. What you don't want to do is create a thick layer of paint that can then flake off and cause problems later on. So as long as you've got a reasonable coat for the silver to adhere to, that's adequate. Okay, so the primer's on, time now to put some silver paint on. I'm using a standard wheel paint, it's just a standard steel silver wheel paint. The reason I'm using that is it has very good adhesion properties, particularly if you're going onto a surface that isn't perfect. This isn't going to be a show bike, so we haven't gone to the complete extremes, so it's just going to be a light dust over, we'll make the engine look presentable. Inside a fully faired sports bike you really can't see it anyway, so it doesn't need to be as immaculate as if it was on display in a naked. So just going on with nice light coats. The thing with these metallic type paints and metallicized paints, if you go too heavy you get a collection of metallic particles in them, so you just want to give it a light coat, let it flash off. If it's too cold just go in with a heat gun as well, just to help it to cure, but there's no secret to them, just take plenty of time and you'll be fine.